The Apple AirPods 4 with ANC are an entirely new product from Apple, which means we have to give them the full review treatment. But also, if you compare the spec sheets for the AirPods 4 with ANC to the AirPods Pro, you begin to realize that, on paper at least, these two products look a lot alike. So we absolutely have to compare and contrast the two. By the end of this video, not only will you know what to expect from the new AirPods 4 with ANC, I intend to help you decide whether you should buy them, consider the AirPods Pro instead, or skip them both entirely and go for something else. Hey, welcome back everyone. I'm Caleb Dennison, and these are the new Apple AirPods 4 with ANC. Let's get this review kicked off by talking about what's new about the AirPods 4 in general, and then we'll get into what makes this version with ANC different, how they perform, compare them to the AirPods Pro 2, and talk about whether anyone other than Apple device owners should even consider them. So first things first, if you weren't already aware, the most obvious and critical difference between standard AirPods earbuds and AirPods Pro earbuds is that standard AirPods don't have a silicone or foam ear tip. This becomes extremely relevant later. Now, Apple refers to this lack of ear tip design as an open ear design, which can get confusing since there's an entirely different kind of open ear headphone design where nothing goes into your ear at all. But for the sake of simplicity, I'm going to use that open ear term loosely to refer to the standard AirPods design. That lack of ear tip has always been a pretty critical design point. On the plus side, you don't have to worry about whether the ear tips will fit into the opening of your ear canal. Also, a lot of folks find the ear tip type design really uncomfortable, and so this open ear design is the only realistic option. On the downside, not having an ear tip sealing up your ear canal means that getting good sound is harder to achieve, and without the security of that ear tip in place, the size and the shape of the earbud takes on all the responsibility of helping to keep them in your ears, unless you add like a fin or something. And that's where things get kind of tricky. This portion of the ear, where the open ear earbuds sit, is different on everyone. It's really tough to get one shape to work in everyone's different ears. Now, Apple says that for the AirPods 4 models, it used advanced modeling tools like photogrammetry and 3D laser topography to map thousands of ear shapes using over 50 million individual data points. And from that, it created what it thinks is the most comfortable to wear shape of this earbud style. And guys, I mean, that's a tall order. Now, I'll comment on my experience with the comfort soon, but you need to know that my experience may not be similar to what you experience. So I would encourage anyone interested in these buds to try them out for at least a couple of minutes and decide if they may work for you. Apple also says it changed just about everything about the acoustic architecture for these earbuds, from the little speaker driver inside to its positioning and how it aims more directly into your ear than before. It even promises that there are less internal sound reflections, which supposedly helps improve the sound quality. There's also a new amp powering that speaker driver, and the AirPods 4 also get Apple's H2 chip, which unlocks a lot of features not previously available, like personalized spatial audio, dynamic head tracking, which is what makes it seem like the sound is coming from a specific point in space, voice isolation, which eliminates the noise around you for clearer phone calls, Siri interaction so you can nod or shake your head to answer or decline a call, and they get a new force sensor that you can click. Latency or audio lag is meant to be lower too, so fewer lip sync issues. That's great for just watching videos and also gaming. You get all of that with either of the new AirPods 4 models. The AirPods 4 with ANC, that's the name, bring a lot more though. And this is where they start to look a lot like the AirPods Pro, at least on paper. Both models have a USB-C charging case now, but the AirPods 4 with ANC have a Find My speaker built in, and the case supports wireless charging. The case also has no back button. Instead, to reset or pair the AirPods with a non-Apple device, you double tap here where the hidden LED is. Battery life is a claimed 5 hours with the ANC off and 4 hours with it on. With the power supplied from the case, you can get about 30 hours total without ANC, or 20 hours with ANC. And I'll just say now that my experience lines up almost exactly with those claims. At least I got about 4 hours with ANC on and playing music roughly 3 of those 4 hours. Now, obviously you get active noise canceling with this version, but with that comes other stuff like transparency mode, adaptive audio, and conversation awareness. So you add all that up, and it seems like the only real differences between the AirPods 4 with ANC and the AirPods Pro are that the Pro have an ear tip that provides a seal in your ear and a force sensor that lets you swipe to adjust volume. Down the road, the AirPods Pro will also get some hearing aid features. In fact, Apple just got their FDA clearance as I'm making this video, but we'll come back to that, along with how important having an ear tip is for noise isolation and noise canceling. For now, let's talk about how the AirPods 4 with ANC work on their own merits. Now, before I get into it, I have to make something clear again. Because the AirPods 4 with ANC are the open ear design with no ear tip, I strongly suspect that the experience one gets is going to vary from user to user much more than the experience one gets with the AirPods Pro. I'm not hedging here, it's just acoustics and biology, and I'll explain along the way what I mean. We'll start with comfort. Now, I understand Apple has done all it can to make these buds as comfortable as possible for the widest range of ears possible. And there's no doubt they are significantly better than the prior generations of AirPods, which I didn't much care for wearing. I suspect that the comfort experience is going to vary from user to user because there's just no avoiding that some folks will experience pinch points ranging from barely existent to significant. Put me in the middle of that camp. I can wear the AirPods 4 roughly 2 to 2.5 hours before I start to feel a tinge of pressure. When I first put them in, I barely felt anything. After a couple of hours, I feel them, and by 3 hours, I kind of want to rest. I took them out, put them in their charging case, and 15 minutes later, not only have I added about 1 hour of playtime, but I can put them in for another 2.5 to 3 hours. I think for day-to-day use, this is fine. For a cross-country flight in the US where you might want to wear them for 5 hours or more, it's fine, but I'd personally rather wear the AirPods Pro for long flights, at least in terms of comfort. That's because I can. For anyone who doesn't like ear tips though, or can't get that style of bud to fit, the AirPods 4 with ANC are going to be a godsend for air travel. Next, let's talk about the noise canceling, because the ANC in these buds has a very dramatic influence on the perceived sound quality. You may already know from a prior video that I did that I was legitimately surprised at how effective the ANC was during a brief demonstration I got while I was at Apple Park. Well, guys, I wore the AirPods 4 with ANC during most of my flight home, and I continue to be extremely impressed. Using just the ANC feature alone, no music or movie playing, these open ear earbuds did a remarkable job of quieting down the plane noise on an actual flight, just like they did in that Apple Park demo. When I played music though, the plane noise was essentially inaudible.
Good morning, this is 52011 with service to Portland.
Folks, for an earbud that offers far inferior passive noise isolation to one with an ear tip that seals up your ear, this is straight up astounding, okay? I remember testing the Samsung Galaxy Live earbuds, also known as the Beans. You remember those? The noise canceling in those was borderline useless on a plane. By contrast, the AirPods 4 with ANC beat any expectations that I could have had for an earbud with no seal. There are some caveats, but overall, I think they're something of a marvel. I did want to note that when I was on the plane, I felt a fair amount of sound pressure, at least at first. This didn't come from the cabin pressurizing, it came from the ANC in the earbuds. And this is likely due to the fact that the open ear design of the AirPods require that they crank out more sound that's 180 degrees out of phase with the plane noise than an earbud with more passive noise isolation would have had to put out. Thing is, eventually that pressure went away. I don't know if the AirPods 4 with ANC adapted or if I adapted, but eventually it was a non-issue. Weird, but I mean, I'll take it. But when it comes to ANC, I know that most folks want more than just airplane noise abatement. So what about everyday noise, like noisy, annoying people around your workspace, like a coffee shop, or street noises? Well, certain high frequencies do sneak past these things. There's just no avoiding that. It's the physics of the situation. There's no seal to block out those high frequencies, and so those high frequencies are quick to pierce that little barrier that is provided by these buds. So there are gonna be little anomalies to the ANC. But let me tell you about this walk I went on. So I was walking down the street in a small business district listening to music at a pretty healthy volume, and I didn't hear much of anything but the music, save the nasal sound of some of the louder voices around me. Mostly, I did not hear the cars whizzing by, only the whine of a huge bus managed to punch through. What was more impressive was when I was walking through a residential neighborhood. I did hear the faint whiz of a weed whacker, and when I stopped the music, I could make it out clearly enough to know what it was, but I was shocked at how loud it actually was when I pulled the earbuds out. A similar experience happened when I walked up on a massive commercial wood chipper that was being used to munch up some huge tree branches. From about 50 or 60 yards away with music playing, I heard nothing. And as I got closer, I could faintly hear the chipper working. When I stopped the music, I could very much hear the wood chipper. But when I took the AirPods out, again, I was shocked at how much of the sheer loudness of the wood chipper the AirPods 4 with ANC were canceling out. Guys, not only do I think that you just can't ask for more effective noise canceling from this kind of earbud design, I'm frankly amazed at how effective it is. Now, the AirPod Pro's ANC is more effective. There's no debating that. And a lot of that has to do with the ear tip seal that you get. They better block high frequency noise, and they're more effective at blocking out noise when no music is playing. Like, I wear the AirPods Pro to bed sometimes to block out noises in the neighborhood, particularly in the morning when garbage trucks post up right outside my door. I don't think I'd swap in the AirPods 4 with ANC for that particular job. And just in general, if you want the more effective noise canceller, the AirPods Pro are it. They seal up your ear. But if you can't do ear tips, I don't think there's better noise canceling available in an open design like this. And it's a similar story with the sound quality. Just the basic AirPods 4 do sound better than the prior generations. The AirPods 4 with ANC, though, sound even better by nature of the fact that they so successfully remove outside sounds from the sonic canvas. This sound quality is going to please a massive audience. Now, fellow audiophiles, don't waste your breath balking. They aren't made for us. But I think anyone who hears these will have to respect the way they sound. They do indeed have prodigious bass with a significant amount of punch. And they have a lot of snap, too. Like, I listened to some music with some really well-recorded congas and bongos and timbales, and you could hear the snap and the pop of the skins on those percussion instruments, right along with the punch of the kick drum. Brass instruments had shimmer, shine, and grit. Saxophones had some bite to them. Vocals were open, clear, and uncongested. There was some occasional sharpness to sibilants, like when singers would hit a hard S. But it didn't go too far. Like when an earbud is too sharp, you'll hear it with the consonant T on a lot of recordings, and I did not get that. Snap, shine, clarity, shimmer, punch, and richness. Yeah, I think the sound quality paired with the ANC performance, bundled with all the Apple-friendly features, you get your $180 worth. I mean, I'm not aware of another product on the market that can do what these do. There are the Edifier W320TN, a similar earbud with ANC available for just $60. And I've had good experiences with Edifier in the past, but I've not tested those earbuds, so I'm sorry, I can't draw a comparison. I can say though that they don't have an H2 chip in them, so they're not gonna offer any of the Apple-specific features that I've talked about here. Also, based on more expensive competition, I don't have much hope that the ANC is gonna be that great. Because there's also the Galaxy Buds 3. And while I've not tested those myself, I spoke to Simon Cohen, who has, and he describes the ANC on those to be almost non-existent, which lines up with the experience that I had on the Live Buds. In fact, Simon said, if I had to quantify it, I'd say the ANC mode offers about a 10% reduction of audible sound compared to non-ANC mode. And that might almost be too generous. So there you go. As far as I know, the AirPods 4 with ANC are the only real game in town for this kind of earbud with ANC. Speaking of those Android-friendly earbuds though, what if you aren't an iPhone or iPad or Mac user? What then? Would you want to use these with an Android device? I mean, for sure, the AirPods 4 with ANC, like all the AirPods products, lose a lot of their luster when not paired with Apple devices. Most of the benefits beyond basic Bluetooth earbud functions just go away. For most Android users, I think they're better options. But one thing remains constant. There is no better ANC in an open ear earbud. So again, if you can't do ear tips, but you want ANC, iPhone or Android, I feel like the AirPods 4 with ANC are the option. Guys, there's really only one other opinion that I want to get on these, and that's from my daughter, actually. Not only is she a teenager and a prime example of the AirPods 4 with ANC target audience, but she's got a great set of ears on her, and she won't sugarcoat what she thinks. So I'm gonna let her try them soon, get her feedback, and I'll pin a comment with her stance. Perhaps that might help you decide whether your teen would be into them. Now, let me leave you with this. Guys, this is great engineering. I don't care what other people say. Some people love Apple no matter what. I'm not one of those people. Some people love to hate Apple no matter what. I'm not one of those folks either. But haters gonna hate, so go ahead if that's your thing. In the end, I know people who need this product, and I'm excited for them to get a pair. Have a blessed day, friends. Thanks so much for watching, everyone. Hey, if you get a set of AirPods 4 with ANC, let me know what you think in the comments. What did I miss? What would you like to know more about? I don't have to be done covering these if there's more of my take that you'd like to see. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoy this content. I'll see you on the next one. And until then, here's 2 other videos I think you might like. By the end of this video, not only will you have a teleprompter that doesn't work,